generation Iron app on Google Play and the App Store.
Olympia is still as prestigious as it once used to be. Do you think it still has that factor? Or do you think that in the last, I'll say 3 to 5 years, it's kind of been changing a little bit?
I don't see it like that.
You still see it as the most prestigious?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
What do you think? What do you think is causing it, like, for it not to be? Is it just the perception of it is not the same? Was it because basically maybe it's the popularity just in general?
I think it's a combination of many things. I think the popularity is going down. I think men's classic is starting to come up. I think the 2-1-2 battle. I think the whole Hadi Chupan spectacle of what's going to happen. Is he going to get his V? It's like, again, there's an asterisk next to all of this year.
Right, because you don't know what's real.
You have no idea.
Sean Roden, when he won. How did you feel about that win, first of all?
I think Phil gave him the victory.
Meaning that?
Meaning it came down to, I've seen all the people, and I've seen Steve Weinberger when he came back and he explained why, in the whole thing. I agree and disagree with him. I do understand. But it was, Phil just gave him, if you look at shot for shot, I saw your interview with Phil. It was at the airport, right?
Yeah.
And he was pissed. He was like, look at the shots.
Look at shot. No, he said go back.
Pose for pose.
Pose.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is the balance was gone. People have to understand that. No matter what this is the part that I do agree with Steve when he says, no matter what pose you hit, your eyes go to the midsection. And if the midsection is off, it throws everything off. So whatever Phil was hitting, you are not looking at the massive arms that were killing Sean, the massive 3D chest that was killing Sean. You were looking at, damn, what's wrong with his midsection? Every shot, you were like, damn, what's wrong with his midsection? And eventually what happened, what's the last shot they hit? Abs and thigh. And remember what Sean did? He stood there, he looked at him, he threw down the gauntlet, he goes, all right, let's go. And Phil wouldn't look at him. That's it. He handed it. He took the Olympia and said, here you go, it's yours.
So did you agree with the decision that Sean Roden deserved to win that year?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I was happy for Sean. I was definitely happy for Sean, but I think it was it could have gone either way, man. It could have gone. I wasn't there. I would honestly answer your question 100% if I was there in person.
Does it really make a difference though if you're there?
It does.
It really does make a difference.
It does make a huge difference. You know who's the most perfect example of that? Dorian Yates. When you saw Dorian in the magazines and stuff, yeah, look at him. He's not, he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that and this, he doesn't have that. You saw him in person, you're like, oh,
different.
Yeah, the graininess was off the charts. Yeah.
So, do you want to comment anything on what's going on with Sean Roden right now? When you heard the news that he was accusation of obviously a crime,
innocent
a rape.
until proven guilty.
Exactly.
Okay, that's number one.
But he's not competing at Olympia right now because of the accusation.
Yeah, right now I said it on my show when I did my interview with Bob Ciccarello a couple weeks ago. There's going to be an asterisk next to the winner this year, and that's why the most interesting thing is Ramy and Sean are getting ready for the Italy show, San Marino. So now imagine, so just imagine if Brandon Curry wins, and then he goes to San Marino and has to go up against the legitimate Mr. Olympia. It just throws everything up into the air. The guy in San Marino must be doing backflips because his show will be the real Olympia.
But I think whoever wins the Olympia is not going to go to San Marino.
You never know. I mean, there was a time where you had the European Grand Prix. Remember that? When the Olympia champion would go to England, to Germany, and it was like the thing, man. You could because whenever the Olympia was done, you had 2 weeks of, oh yeah, man. It was a battle, fucking war going on. And I remember I used to love that stuff. I don't know why they stopped doing that, but yeah, it's interesting that they're going to go up against each other. It will be very interesting to see what happens.
So you mentioned Brandon Curry. You think he's the most favorite to win this year?
If he comes in, I'm seeing his 2 week out pictures right now. If he comes in this monstrously big, he's going to sacrifice his conditioning. Dexter is going to stand right next to him and say, "Whack. Here's conditioning." He's grainy. See, Dexter's smart. You know, you have to, Dexter is really, really smart. He's like, okay, come in bigger. I want you to come in bigger. Dexter right now, everybody is seeing those 2 week out pictures and they're going, holy shit. Dexter's laughing, saying, please keep this up. Please keep coming, please get bigger. Because Dexter's going to come in with that conditioning.
Do you think Olympia is still as prestigious as it once used to be? Do you think it still has that factor? Or do you think that in the last, I would say 3 to 5 years, it's kind of been changing a little bit?
I don't see it like that.
You still see it as the most prestigious?
No.
Oh, you don't see? Okay.
No.
What do you think? What do you think is causing it, like, for it not to be? Is it just the perception of it is not the same? Or is it because basically maybe it's the popularity just in general?
I think it's a combination of many things. I think the popularity is going down. I think men's classic is starting to come up. I think the 2-1-2 battle. I think the whole Hadi Choopan spectacle of what's going to happen. Is he going to get his V? It's like, again, there's an asterisk next to all of this year.
Right, because you don't know what's real.
You have no idea. You know, and you're asking I think I'm being a little weird about this too, because, you know, I just don't think it's the way it used to be, man. I mean, look, come on, Vlad. When I was doing this, okay, North American overall, Mr. USA champion overall, right? National weight class winners. 6 pro cards were handed out a year. Maybe even less. Let's say 4, because the poor little guys really didn't do much in the pros. So the heavyweight, maybe the light heavyweight, the nationals, right? USA champion, North American champion. That's it. Those are your professionals. Those were the stars that were going into the pro ranks and everybody knew. Now, you go to the Team U, you go to North Americans, and 160 pro cards are handed out. I mean, it's great for the sport. It's great for building up, and, you know, and I see Mannion's vision with this, and I agree with it. But it's taken away. I mean, when a guy won the USAs, he was already a star. When Melvin Anthony won the USAs, he was a star. When King Kamali won the Nationals, I was already a star. It was like, it's not like that anymore, man. And it goes back to the whole internet thing we're talking about. Internet killed all that shit.
All right, so let's talk about the Middle East. Hadi Choopan, Iran. You know, they have some great athletes over there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you keep hearing different names coming out, but Hadi is definitely considered to be the #1 from that country.
Yes.
Do you think he's #1 in the world? If he was to compete here right now in Olympia or Arnold Classic, do you think he would be proven to be #1?
No.
No.
He'd be in the mix.
But not.
But no.
Really?
No.
Didn't he just recently got into some show and he won the Men's Open? I forgot what show it was.
Yeah, it was in Canada.
Canada,
Montreal.
Right, Canada, yeah. It was Men's
either
Open.
The Toronto or the Montreal show. Yeah, he's good. But, you know, what he's bringing 2,000 conditioning, you know, to the stage. And these guys are, I mean, every once in a while, somebody comes along who changes the sport, changes the mind process of what's going on, the thought process, excuse me. And now Hadi's coming along at a time where, you know, a lot of people are not getting into that condition because there's more going for the whole size thing again. Hadi's bringing that type of conditioning. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. I would love to see Hadi at 220 with Flex Lewis at 220. See, Flex Lewis had to come in flat at every single show because he was trying to make weight. Let him not try to make weight. You know, we've seen what Hadi looks like not trying to make weight. He did it at the Canada show when he won the Open. And he also did it when he got second to Cedric at the San Marino show last year. Let Flex Lewis come in, you know? I would also like to see Derek Lungsford, is that his name? Yeah. See, he's probably going to win this year, the 212.
212,
yeah. So,
we think, but I mean, 212, I think Hadi would have won, no?
Maybe.
Maybe.
You can never say that.
I was talking about the Men's Open when I said, do you think he would?
No, he doesn't have the muscularity.
No?
He has the conditioning, you know, but he won't have the muscularity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other very talented athletes coming from Iran, right? I mean,
there's about 50 Hadi Choupans.
Right.
You know, I literally saw. Because like, again, over there, it's like I went into this dormitory. There was an actual Vlad, a dormitory for bodybuilders, where they eat, sleep, and train, and the government takes care of them, and this and that, and, you know, because they were on the national team. Like to get on the national team is hard. It's real hard for them to go and compete, and they get chosen and all that stuff. But you know, it's just like, you know, Hadi right now in Iran is just like Ronaldo when he walks down the street in Portugal, or Messi when he's in Argentina. That's how he's treated. He's a nationwide, national, you know, star. You know,
Do you think the people over there, they respect this type of sport way more?
Of course they do. Of course they tremendously respect it. You should see the respect I'm getting still, and I've been retired for 10 years. You know, I still get these, wow, man, you did everything. You know, no matter how much these trolls and these imbeciles like to talk shit, I was still the first Iranian ever in the history of the world to step on the Mr. Olympia stage. Nobody can take that away from me. You know, so I have that going, and you know, I'm still giving back and all that stuff. But yeah, he's definitely a megastar right now.
So what do you think about Arnold making a statement recently saying that bodybuilding needs to be drug tested going forward? You heard that statement?
I did. It's not. It's going to work and it's not going to work. I mean, how many times have they tried that, man? How many times have they tried that? I mean, we'd have wanted to do that and bring bodybuilding to the Olympics and all that stuff.